Hey kids, welcome back to Creativity with Mr. B. It's always great to see you. Every time we're together, I'll show you a skill, then you'll practice that skill and create on your own. I'm excited about what we can create together. Stanley Whitney is an abstract artist known for his loosely gridded, multicolored paintings. That's a fancy way of saying his work is made out of rectangular blocks, horizontal lines, and bold colors. I'm new to the work of Stanley Whitney, but I find his use of color and space to be so exciting and so inspiring. So today, we're going to make our very own painted color grids in the style of Stanley Whitney. Whitney creates blocks of vibrant color which either complement or clash against one another. There's an energy to his choices. There's an intention there. How are all these works the same? How are they different? Pause the video to discuss or reflect on your own. Stanley Whitney's paintings feature grids made up of bold colors, horizontal lines, and rectangular shapes. So that's where we'll see our elements show up today: color, line, and shape. Now let's talk about materials. You'll need a paint kit. Watercolor or acrylic will work. You'll also need brushes and water. If you don't have a paint kit, that's okay. I'll show you how to create this with crayons too. For paper, I use cut paper squares for the watercolor and crayon, and I'm using cardboard squares for the acrylic painted grids. Stanley Whitney's paintings feature horizontal lines and rectangular shapes, all painted in bold colors. So put things wherever you want, but remember, those are kind of the rules. If you're painting, be sure to alternate or go back and forth between painting long horizontal lines and the squares and rectangles. To save time and to create a more balanced painting, move your colors around the grid. In other words, use a color more than once. This turquoise here that I'm painting, I'm not just going to paint that horizontal line. I'm also going to paint some rectangles and squares with that same color so that when I'm done, that color has bounced around and I've moved it around the entire painting. Keep painting until the grid is full. Use as many colors as you want and repeat them as many times as you want to. When you're done, let your painting dry completely. For watercolor painting, directions work mostly the same way. You're going to start by alternating between horizontal lines and rectangular shapes. Be sure to move colors around, use them more than once. This gives your painting a sense of balance. Just like before, keep painting until the grid is entirely full. It's very important with watercolor. When you're done, let your painting dry completely. Alright, if you're using crayons today, not painting with watercolor or acrylics, it's still going to start the same way. Start with rectangular shapes and horizontal lines, alternating between those all over your grid. Make sure you spread colors around. Use them more than once. See how I'm moving that green to multiple locations, using it for both a line and for a rectangle? You're going to do that with all your colors. It gives your composition a sense of balance. Also, don't worry about perfectly straight lines or leftover white spaces. Just let the color move around. And with crayons, you're going to focus more on layering, putting color on top of color. So things may not be just one color. If you look at Stanley Whitney's crayon work, usually things are built up with layers. It's more scribbly. When you're done, take time to compare what you've made to Stanley Whitney's work. How are they the same? How are they different? Where do you see line? How did you use color? What shapes do you recognize? We did it. We use color, line, and shape to create work inspired by the color grids of Stanley Whitney. Be sure to share your artwork with your teachers, family, and friends. Keep creating, and I'll see you back here next time on Creativity with Mr. B.